Hi, Year 6. I hope you're well and that you've had a great week. Before we get started on the work today, I thought you'd like to meet the new puppy in the Burton household. This is Molly. Hello. And she only came to our house on Saturday. So we're really excited and we love her to bits already. Now, while Molly eats my hand, we're going to start doing some work and we're going to think about formal and informal writing today. Sometimes that's known as formal or informal register. Now, while you're thinking about what that is and where it might be used, I need you to pause the video and go and grab yourself a sheet of paper and a pen. Thanks.
Okay, so as you probably remembered, formal is a style of writing that sounds more correct. Some people might think that it sounds a little more posh or sophisticated than usual. It's used when you talk or you write to someone that you don't know. It's also used when you write non-fiction, such as instructions or explanations or reports. And it's also used when you're writing formal letters. So in contrast to that, informal is a style of writing that has a more personal tone. Some people might think that it sounds a little bit more casual or relaxed. And it's used when you talk or write to somebody you know really well. Maybe when you're writing a letter to a friend or family member. When you're writing a diary. Or when you're writing emails or text messages to people that you know.
Now we've recapped what formal and informal writing is. I need you to draw a line down the centre of the sheet of paper. On one side you're going to label it formal, and on the other side you're going to label it informal. Pause the video and do that really quickly. Brilliant. Now what you're going to do is listen really carefully, and I'm going to shout out either a formal or an informal feature or example. And what I need you then to do is pop it into the correct column. Okay? Are you ready for the first word?
Okay, the first phrase is, how's it going? Is it formal or informal? Pop it in the correct column. The next one is, yours sincerely. And now, see you later. And how about writing a postcard to your best friend? Where would it is with regret be used, a formal or an informal letter? And how about, I can't believe it? What about when you use contractions like aren't or he'll or it's? And what about the word fab? The next one, magnificent. What do you think of hey there? And finally, a letter of complaint.
Here's the answers. How did you do? You've probably noticed that in the informal column there were lots of contractions and slang words and shortened words. Now your challenge now is to rewrite some formal sentences into some informal language. So get ready.
Here's an example. Here's the formal sentence. Despite it being summer, the weather is tremendously cold and miserable. But if I wrote that informally, it would probably read something like, I can't believe it. It's summer, but the weather is shockingly bad. Now, can you give these a try? I bid you farewell. It is with regret I have to inform you that the event has been cancelled. The athletes were very statuesque. Pause the video and try and write those as informally as you can. This is what I wrote. Were they similar to yours?
If you're anything like me during this lockdown, you'll have been getting a little bit confused with remembering what day of the week it is, and also remembering what you've been up to, as days seem to blend into one. So I thought it'd be a good idea to do some informal writing and write a diary to help you keep track of the days. Now you know that a diary is written in the first person, in the past tense, and then it recounts or retells something that has happened. You also know that it's written in chronological order and that it contains lots of emotions. Here's an example.
Dear diary, today has been the best day ever. Today is the day I got a puppy. It started like any other day. I had my usual cereal for breakfast and then loaded the dishwasher. Such a fun life I lead, hey? The rest of the morning seemed to pass by so slowly. Honestly, every second seemed like a minute, and every minute seemed like an hour. Anyway, eventually it was time. Amazingly, I managed to keep my cool and drove to the dog breeder's house. It was such a short distance, but it felt like the longest drive of my life. Eventually, I pulled up to the wooden front door, and there she was, my gorgeous little puppy. She was so adorable. big ebony eyes, the softest fluffy fur, and the cutest button nose. I couldn't wait to drive home and introduce her to everyone else. I knew they'd love her as much as I did. The next few hours were such brilliant fun. I laughed and smiled so much that my cheeks ached. The little fluff ball, which, by the way, we've decided to call Molly, rolled and ran around the garden, exploring a new home. Yay, that's my home.
So now it's your turn. I want you to write a diary entry for at least one day. You could write it as yourself, or you could pretend to be someone else and write their diary. Remember, informal register, emotions, past tense, first person, and chronological order. And as always, if you're happy to share your work, I'd love to see it. So email it in or pop a copy of it into the post box. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye!